Hi and welcome to LeagueLobster. In this video we'll just quickly go over the basics of setting up a tournament. So let's jump right in. As a first step, we're gonna have to create an account. Next we'll create the organization hosting the event, either your club or your company. Enter a name for your tournament and pick the sport. And then finally enter a name for this particular instance. Usually that's going to be a year name or 5th annual or something to that effect. Minimum number of games, let's just say 3, we'll get to that later. And the start date and end date and submit. Okay, so now we have a tournament, but we don't have any teams in it yet, as you can see. You can actually go to registration settings up here, set up a merchant account and create a registration page where people can go and sign up. But we're going to skip that for now. That's going to be a different video. Let's just assume you're going to manually add teams into this tournament. So you already know everyone that's going to participate and you'll be adding them by hand. So 2 options for that. One is you can go down here and add teams one by one. So for that, you'll first have to add a division. And then let's call this team Lobsters. Submit. There you go. So you can keep doing that. Or if you have a lot of teams, it's probably easier to go over to our bulk entry over here. So this is great if you have a lot of teams that you want to add, maybe several divisions. The way this was intended to be used is you can make a spreadsheet like this here with one column of team names and the division names in the column next to that. You'll just select all of that, copy it, go back in here, and then just paste it right here and submit. And there you go. Now we have all of our teams. So now we're ready to head over to the schedule maker up here and define what our tournament should actually look like. You'll see here that you have a few sections to work with. Settings is basically where you're going to change the base settings that we defined when we first set up the tournament, dates, game duration, etc. The division section is where you define the mode of play for each division. Essentially that means setting the number of round-robin games and defining any playoff brackets and how those are seeded. So before you get too deep into that, you'll want to think about how you may want to subdivide your divisions into pools or groups. The thing to keep in mind for this is that any teams that should feed into the same bracket need to be in the same division. So they can be in different pools, but they need to be in the same division. So for an example of this, let's look at our 16U here. We have 12 teams. Let's say we want to split them into 4 pools of 3 teams each, and then put them into brackets based on their rankings. So first we'll go up here to create pools, and we'll say we'll make 4 pools out of those 12 teams. That'll do that. So if you want to change how they're split into the groups, you can just drag and drop to switch them. Now for pool games, let's say we only want 2, and then we'll add brackets. So essentially we'll have a let's say championship bracket of 4 teams. And then you can go in and say, I want the first of Pool A as the first seed, first of Pool B as the second, and so on. So all the first place teams will advance into the championship bracket. We can then add another, and same deal. We'll just fill that with the second. And yeah, we could do the same with the third places. I actually have a preset already saved. So once you've set up one division, you can actually save a preset of your division definition, so including the number of pool games and your playoff brackets, including the seeds. So you don't have to set that up for all of your divisions. You know, if you have divisions with the same number of teams, you can reuse one setup and just apply that to all the divisions with the same number of teams. So if I go to select preset over here, I can actually just select that. You can see now we actually have a 9th place bracket as well. So then for our 8-team division up here, let's say we have 0 pool games for that. We just want a bracket and we'll want full consolation. So that means all teams get the same number of games. When you lose, you just drop to a lower bracket, but keep playing. So all the teams get 3 games total. We'll just fill them with actual seeds. So we'll define ahead of time which team is our first seed, etc. Seed 1 will play seed 8 in the first round. 2 will play 7, and so on. So just how you would expect a bracket to work. And then lastly, for our 14U, let's just have round robin and no bracket. So next, let's set up our time slots. First, we'll need to add our venues. Select them all, and let's just keep this simple. 6 hours each day. And let's generate our schedule. Okay, there you have it. 43 games created and 5 unused time slots remaining. So we actually have a few more time slots than we needed. Probably an easier way to look at this to see if everything came out okay is to filter by division up here. And then you can see very easily for each division what the schedule looks like. These green ones, they're just the unused time slots. So those are our 5 unused slots up here. You can hide them by unchecking this box, so then they don't clutter your view. They're only there for you, so your users won't see them. And then what you can do is actually, if you don't like the timing of some of this, you could actually go in and say, oh, the final should actually be on court 1 at 3 p.m. and you just drag and drop it down here. Now what we could do is actually go in and reduce our time slots. So let's say we chop off that last hour. This will actually leave us a little short, but for demonstration purposes, that's not so bad. So then we'll just click retry allocating games down here, since all we did was change the time slots we have. If we change the number of games or added a new bracket, we'd need to erase games and regenerate the entire schedule so that new games are created. But in this case, we just need to rerun the allocation. And so you can see now we actually didn't have enough time slots. So we had 43 games and only 40 time slots. So 3 games are going to be unscheduled. So if I take the filter off for the division there, you'll see there's some games that are not yet scheduled. So what I can do is either, they're already sort of at a logical place here at the end. So what I could do is just go in and say, okay, well, this is going to be on court 1, court 2, court 3, and 3 p.m. is fine, so we'll leave it there. Or you could also click on the time and change that. But so that would be one simple way, and the red will go away once you refresh. So another place to make these customizations would be over here on the calendar. Especially nice for sort of these 2-day events is you can switch to the 2-day view and get your whole tournament on one screen. And then you can use these highlighters here at the bottom to cycle through the games for each division. Or you can also cycle through each team or select a specific team to see when they are playing. I'll sort of leave it at that for our introductory video. If you'd like any more info on any specific topic, I would point you towards our help center up here. Some sections of the site also have a little question mark like this one here that link you straight to the relevant article. If there's ever a question you can't find the answer to, we're also just a click away. Just look for this blue chat button at the bottom right. And with that, I'll leave you to explore. enjoy, and thanks for watching.